Global real estate firm. It's the largest tenant rep only global real estate firm in the country, and its name is Cressa. So don't forget that. If you ever need some real estate needs, I can help with. So without further ado, I guess I'll start with you, Suzanne, if you'd like to give a simple introduction and talk a little bit about Hotwire and what you're doing.
Thanks, Caroline. Well, I'm Suzanne Ferguson. I most recently did serve as General Counsel at Hotwire Communications and left there at the beginning of the summer to just spend some time with my kids and also figure out what I want to be when I grow up. But my career is almost 20 years as an attorney in the technology field. I supported large fiber optic deployments, various types of e-commerce and cybersecurity and all types of technology initiatives. So I'm really looking forward to the next chapter. I'm so excited with what's happening in South Florida in the tech community, and I'm very happy to be here. And I just want to applaud all of the men who came out today. It's amazing. Thank you.
Hey.
And I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming and for having us to the Executive Roundtable. My name is Karen O'Byrne. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Modernizing Medicine, which is a primarily software technology company for surgical specialties. So we develop specialty-specific solutions for doctors all over the country in surgical specialties. And we've got a suite of products including electronic medical records, practice management systems, telemedicine solutions, analytics, and lots of innovative products for that market, as well as kind of a services solutions around it.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Ross. I am recently back down here in Florida. I'm a Chief Information Officer for Broward Health. I am a NOVA alumni. Graduated in 2000 with my MBA. Yay, NOVA. I have been a Chief Information Officer for over 20 years. I've worked in multiple states, and I finally come back home to South Florida. As I said, I'm part of Broward Health, so I think everyone knows that we deliver awesome health care. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I am in the technology arena of healthcare, and one of the things I'm the most proud of is being able to deliver bedside care with technology. There you go.
I'm Amy Fetterman. I head up corporate communications at Ryder. Most people know us for trucks, and our trucks, we have 277,000 on the road, but we're way more than trucks. We do supply chain, logistics, warehouse, so pretty much everything each and every one of you have touched already today, from your newspaper to the car you drive to the food you ate. A Ryder employee has pretty much already been involved with it before you got it. We have been based in Miami now for 86 years, Fortune 500, 40,000 employees. And I'm fairly new to Ryder. I've just been there 9 months, so women in leadership ask me away at Ryder, I'm still learning.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, Erica Durance. I am thrilled to be with you all today. So other than having the longest title, I think, maybe on this panel, a few of us could rival. Basically what I do is have the opportunity to be a commercial leader at ABB Optical Group. Show of hands, who has perfect vision? Anybody have perfect vision? Okay, I'm not talking to you people. People with perfect vision. So everybody else, ABB Optical Group is a full-service platform for your glasses or your contact lens, and we really pick, pack, and ship, but also offer services to independent mom-and-pop optical doctors all across the country. And it's a real privilege to have the opportunity to support them. But in the introductions, we often do the disservice of just saying what we do at work. So I believe we're so much more than that. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old at home who are very snotty right now, so I can't remember the woman who had pneumonia, but please disinfect this mic after her and after me. So live a really full and awesome opportunity, have a full and rich, crazy wildlife outside the office as well, but similar. I've only been at ABB Optical a small amount of time as well, so enjoy being here today. Thank you. Teresa?
Good morning. My name is Teresa Fox, and I'm the general manager at Barclays, and I've been with the firm for 15 years. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the South Florida Executive Roundtable for inviting me here today and also being on this panel with these amazing women. It's a pleasure and I look forward to participating. Barclays here in Miami is a $1.5 billion branch. We service institutional clients in Latin America and the Caribbean. So we consider ourselves a bank for banks. We provide them with traditional bank products, money markets, commercial lending, correspondent banking, trade finance products. And we've been operating here in South Florida since the 80s. My career spans over 30 years. I worked with 2 other international financial institutions, Deutsche Bank, as well as Credit Union. I started in public accounting at KPMG in New York, which is my hometown. So I'm not an original Floridian. And have an absolute passion for community service and women in leadership. I've served on the board for the British American Business Council with Tansy, who's my chair, who's here today as well. I'm also a past chair of the Florida International Bankers Association, and I know many of you here are represented. I know we have our Women's Leadership Committee here today as well, and I'm also the current chair of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. So very, very, very interested in participating today. Thank you so much. I'm one of those that raised my hand as being one of the first participants. This is my first South Florida Executive Roundtable event, and I look forward to participating further in the future. It's a sold-out crowd, and I hope we deliver. And honestly, I'm sure we'll deliver. So thank you for coming.
All right, thank you, all ladies. I thought we'd do something fun to just kind of be an icebreaker before we go straight into technology and leadership and all of those very important topics for everybody today. So I'm going to start with you again, Teresa. If you could share with us what your first job was ever, not your career, your first job.
That's a very interesting question. I had my first job when I was 17 years old, which is my current daughter's age right now. So I was 17 years, I have 2 daughters. I have a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old, so I'm really going through it these days. But my first job at 17 years old, I was hired in the pedagogic payroll unit for the New York Department of Education. So I don't know how many of you know what a pedagogic unit is, but I didn't at 17 years old. But I took the job and I found out very quickly that that's what they call the payroll for substitute teachers. So I basically manually calculated from timestamp cards, and this is in the 70s, timestamp cards, payroll for substitute teachers. So they relied on a 17-year-old.
You didn't screw it up.
Didn't screw it up. At least no one told me I did.
That's great. Erica, would you like to share?
Sure, would you like to hear? So my first job, I wish it was at 17. I actually grew up with a family that was really into farming. Actually, my godfather is the largest privately owned hog farmer in the United States. Not bragging rights necessarily, trust me, when you roll up in the smell, right? So I, as a really young kid, kind of grew up summers going to visit my godfather and my uncle and my family, extended family, like many of you, I see heads nodding. And so I had the unique opportunity to, in the summers, early in the morning, go feed the hogs. And I got paid they were lucky to pay me. They were, of course, you get paid by dinner, right? You got dinner, you got a roof over your head. But I got, $5 to do the chore here and $10 to do the chore there. Mowing the grass was a big highlight for me because I didn't have to go into the hog shelters. But it really taught me the tremendous value of hard work and the value of where your food comes from and the value of family and really appreciating what they do every single day. It didn't matter if it was Christmas, you had to go do that, right? It didn't matter, you didn't get a day off, and I really champion all of the hard work that all of us do, but really especially our farmers.
Thank you for that.
Sure
We're going on?
Yes.
We had a connection because my high school, the nickname was Pig Farmers.
It was meant to be.
Meant to be. So besides the babysitting jobs one would do at a young age, my first job was at 13, like full paycheck and all taxes taken out. I worked at Mr. T's Putt-Putt Golf and Arcade in Long Beach Island, New Jersey. At 13, I was flipping out quarters, running golf tournaments. It was actually pretty exciting when you think about kind of how my life has progressed after that. Worry-free, who doesn't want quarters? The most competitive thing was managing the actual parents who were trying to win the putt-putt course. I'm going to deal with this, but it set the groundwork for being on time, hard work, doing all sorts of different skills. Because what does a 13-year-old know? But I learned how to count quarters really quickly.
That's awesome. Catherine?
Hi, my grandfather also had a hog farm. And
Wow.
I do understand the smell. No bueno. No. So my first job was a summer job when I was 15 years old, and I worked for the 4-H club. I was doing secretarial work. So the thing that I did the most was file. I was not good. I knew that was not going to be a career path for me, so I did it for one summer. They didn't invite me back the next summer. Other than they would come to the president of the 4-H would come to my school and say, do you have any idea where you file this paperwork? And no, I had no idea. Because each day I had a different filing mechanism. Maybe it'd be alphabetical, maybe it wouldn't. I had no idea. I was bored and I didn't like it. But they did give me a check. This was contaminated.
So, I always say my first unpaid job was when I was about 4 or 5. Continues to be my unpaid job today, which is doing dishes. My parents actually had, believe it or not, I was shorter once upon a time. And I literally had a step ladder to get to the sink. So my parents instilled chores in me from a very, very young age, and that never stopped to today. My first paid job was not on a hog farm, I'm very happy to say. But it was, I rode horses when I was young. When I was 13, the stable where I had my horse hired me to clean up a bunch of crap. Occasionally is my job today. So absolutely not every day.
Thank you for that, Karen. I'll be brief and I'll share with you that I did the normal babysitting jobs at 11 and 12, but I think probably my first real job was at the age of 13 when I went to visit my grandmother in Ohio for a summer vacation. Although I don't know how summer vacation and what your whole summer work, but it was a fun place to work though. Great people, Handel's ice cream. So it was a great experience.
Well, I'll go ahead and bring us back full circle to barbecue. So I got in there, just to give you an idea of the corporate culture, the big aspirational goal was to turn 18 so you could operate the slicer. But the thing that I always remember about this job, I really enjoyed customer service. I discovered I have a passion for just, meeting people's needs, making them happy. But one of the pieces of side work that we had to do every shift was we each had to make 500 bags of sliced pickles and sliced onions to go with the sandwiches and the plates. Sliced pickles and sliced onions do not feel good in your hands. They do not smell good in your hands. There is nothing good about pickle and onion bags. But it taught me that no matter how much you like your job, there's always a task that you're not going to enjoy, and it's important to make the whole process run smoothly. So I really brought that with me into my career. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I still like that one.
That's how I want it because I'm from Dallas.
Oh,
So,
you know.
I know. It's great. Yeah.
innovation impact your business, your industry? Where do you see the trends in the next few years?
So innovation is one of our core values. I mean, it's something, it's how we built the company. We're 8 years old, and from the beginning of time at Modernizing Medicine, innovation has been kind of in our bloodstream. One of our core values is innovate boldly and make things happen. So we talk a lot about the idea of innovation being effectively exploring the art of the possible, right? Looking for new ways to do things. But that's not enough when you're building a company quickly. So it's trial and error and actually putting that sort of exploration to work in ways that, for us, change an industry. And so, from one of the greatest innovations I think that has served us as a company that has grown so quickly in the last 8 years is basically artificial intelligence, and I think that will continue to be an area of innovation, virtual reality, those sorts of technologies and innovation in healthcare, of course, in any industry. But for us, we started early on with some artificial intelligence around anticipating doctors' motions at work, what sutures they were going to use, what injections, what medications they were going to do, and our platform learns that on a provider-by-provider basis, so that when they're using our product, we can move more quickly with them so that they can spend more time with patients. So our system will know, Dr. O'Flannery, this is the type of suture, and this is the type of medication you like to treat this disease with, and so we'll feed that to her while she's treating a patient that looks like the other one that she treated that looked the same. And so that's the type of artificial intelligence we built in very early on, and today we continue to do that in when we think about the future on things like how do doctors treat patients remotely. Certainly robotics is part of that, but just artificial intelligence and be able to help, for example, people on the battlefield treat wounded soldiers when they're not medics. So can we provide platforms like that that don't require a surgeon in front of the patient all the time? So we talk about artificial intelligence and virtual reality being a pretty broad space that has a lot of room for innovation in healthcare and I think in many other industries.
I'm going to throw it over to Amy to share some of the ways that writers are finding innovation and trends that are impacting your business.
Sure, innovation is also one of our corporate pillars, along with safety, collaboration, and expertise. But innovation is fairly broad. You gotta think of, let's say the trucking industry, past 85, 86 years. Only 5 to 7 years ago did we go away from receipts and paper logs and mileage logs. Now everything at Ryder is turning into handheld devices. Everything is digital and electronic. So you think of I'll just say a truck driver or mechanic who has been using paper logs for their entire career, which would be 40 or 50 years. So helping them come along as our workforce to be digitally savvy is an innovation that we're looking for. But also on a company-wide, we're facing the Amazon effect, the Uber effect. So trying to stay ahead of the curve as a leading logistics provider is really one of our pillars that we focus on. We have a new products development lab within Ryder. So think of a startup within an 86-year-old company. So a wide variety of new technologies we're constantly building upon, from everything from, I think somebody mentioned me, they had heard about our Coop, which is an asset sharing platform. Idle trucks don't make money, so business to business, you can put your trucks, tractors, and trailers on it, all through a handheld device with the backing of Ryder. To something as unique and I think pretty relevant to this group is we have a labor shortage in a lot of our trade skills, so mechanics, drivers. So we are being innovative in how we're recruiting talent. We have designed trucks to now be ergonomically meant for women in terms of automatic versus manual, larger seats, more comfortable seats, smaller foot pedals. I mean, everything to make it easier for women to get into trucking. to recruiting on military bases. So an innovation in recruitment is the last 6 to 9 months of an active duty who's getting out of the military. We go on base, we're in 8 bases now, and help them transition, and they have a full guaranteed job. So innovation is more than technology for us, but it kind of all plays together. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Catherine, what are your opinions on some of the biggest opportunities or some of the threats in South Florida overall that you see today and maybe over the next 2 years? What are the biggest opportunities or the biggest threats to your specific industry business?
Probably the ability to recruit and take talent. I mean, we're battling, in my role as technology and healthcare, we're battling every other industry for the same talent. Anyone here who's trying to recruit, there are multiple job offers for everyone that you're trying to hire. And healthcare is not normally the one that pays the most. I mean, generally, with manufacturing, banking, other industries pay way more than what we do with healthcare. So that's a huge challenge. So what we're trying to do to overcome that is create an opportunity within our own environment to grow and create career paths, to build that talent internally and hire at a lower level and train them internally. I mean, that's one of the things that we're trying, and I know it's only going to get worse. I mean, trying to recruit talent is only going to get worse. So me and my leaders are constantly looking at what can we do to entice people. We're doing work shifting, we're doing career paths, we're doing personal development, personal growth. I mean, we're trying to offer as much as possible outside of just the monetary to entice them to come in and to stay. I mean, that's one of the, I don't really want to talk to the schools. I mean, starting to get more innovative on how do we get new talent fresh out with no experience and help them grow.
And I definitely think not only the war for talent, but retention is just a huge buzzword nowadays. So thank you for that. So Teresa, could you share with us what some of the biggest technological advances, sorry about that, you see are advancing at Barclays or maybe hindering Barclays over the next few years?
Absolutely. I think with financial services, you have to remain technologically astute if you want to advance and be competitive in this landscape. I think just in terms of the audience, how many of you have a mobile app for your financial institution on your phone? Just about everyone. And how many of you actually went into the bricks and mortar and spoke to a teller in the past month? That's amazing. So the technological advances in financial services is primarily digital. The digital opportunity is outstanding. And from a Barclays perspective, what we did here in the United States, instead of setting up bricks and mortar for our retail business, for our consumer banking business, we established a digital bank. So if you want to have an account here in the US with Barclays, it has to be through our digital bank. We've totally eliminated the bricks and mortar platform here in the United States. We're hugely into bricks and mortar in Europe, in the UK. That's being downsized as well. But the technological advancement in mobile app and digital streams is what's going to assist banks and financial services in remaining cutting edge. Another thing that we did in terms of technological advance is we invested heavily in our online trading platform for our institutional clients. It's an award-winning platform. It's called VARX. You have cross-asset quotes on that platform. We've moved away from the traders speaking to the clients on a consistent basis. When I first started in capital markets, everything was handwritten. The traders wrote down their trades, they put it in a basket, the runner came and picked up the trades, entered it into a system, everything was manual. Now, a lot of times the traders don't even talk to the clients on the phone.
It's usually the coverage and salespeople that are out pitching, but to execute, Barks is what we're investing heavily in. And then the third thing that we're doing from a technological advancement perspective is we're partnering with fintechs. We're partnering with those groundbreaking companies that are going to deliver products that we don't have the speed and agility to deliver. So we've also set up incubators, regional incubators in New York and London and Tel Aviv to attract talent, to invest in those fintech companies for those solutions that potentially we can partner with them on in the future. So in order to remain competitive, you have to ride the wave of technology.
One thing I'd love to hear, because the other side of that equation, I think just to talk about the sort of flip side to advancement, and I'd love to hear from people who know more than me, is the cyber threat. I mean, we, as much as we're investing in technology, you know, there's feels like as a CFO an equal amount of investment in compliance and in sort of security and protection around that. So just, I'd love to hear a little bit more about that side from some of the techies on the panel.
I guess I'll shift over to Erica real quick, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Can you explain, and this will kind of parlay into what she was speaking about a little bit, some of the challenges. What is your organization's greatest competitive advantage? And what do you do to build upon that competitive advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if I had to say what our biggest competitive advantage is, I would say, without a doubt, it doesn't even give me a minute pause to say our people, because of the talent question that you asked earlier, so I'll tie that in. The talent that we have, I think, is phenomenal. I've got 2 female leaders in the room in our organization, and the talent at ABB is great. It really is. And what I love about the people that we've been able to bring in is that I've actually thought about talent and people a little bit differently, in that we don't really care where you live. Come be a part of this amazing organization. So we've reached out and branched out and been open to hiring remote employees. We've been open to hiring people who are moms and frankly moms like me who don't necessarily live in the natural geographic area, but are willing to commute in at their appropriate times. I've got an employee who lives in Ohio but comes to Florida once call it 6-week period, and is really highly engaged and engages virtually all the time to the technology question earlier as well. I think the more creative we're able to get, the more innovative that we can continue to be, and the more this global world that we all live in, we're able to tap into talent that's not only local but also global. And it makes all of us that live here locally better equipped to think about roles that might not necessarily be one that you go into as a brick or mortar location every single day. So it combines actually a lot of the conversation that we've been having today, but without a doubt, I think any company's competitive advantage is their people, for sure.
Thank you for that. I guess I'll go off topic for a minute here because Karen kind of spoke about saying, no, this is fine. I think it's interesting that we learn from all the women leaders. Would anyone else like to add to in the war for talent, innovative ideas, technology, and the challenges that you have maybe with the cybersecurity, and making sure that we're not hacked?
I appreciate
You raised the question. I've actually done some work in the cybersecurity field in my career, and to be brutally honest, I've shied away from healthcare and financial products because the risk is just kind of scary. But I do think that in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see some really innovative solutions related to the blockchain technology. And by no means an expert in that, but from looking at it, one of the things that I do sort of intuitively sense is that as we move to this sort of fixed ledger model, even the
the most crippling hacks, I think will be easy to back out of and recreate the process or the system or whatever's been immobilized simply by, going back in time in the ledger. I think it's gonna create, I'm not sure how operationally it's gonna work, but I think it is gonna create some solutions that are gonna be really, just go out and reach for decidedly.
Great, thanks for that, Suzanne. I guess I'm gonna throw this question at you, Karen. What is the best advice you've received professionally, and the worst? Or let's put it this way: if you could go back into your 20s, what would you go back? Yes. What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Well, I embrace all these wrinkles. I don't want to go back to 20. Yeah, that's a really hard one for me because in my mind, no advice is bad advice. Even if you take it and you screw up, you learn something. I really can't point to a single thing in terms of advice that I could think of that was the thing that stuck with me. It was a bunch of stuff. And so coming to these events, using your network, using your your personal board of directors. I am a person who just ingests it all and tries to synthesize it into the person who I am. So I don't have a single one in terms of what I would tell my 20-year-old self. And since we're on a women's panel, I'll use that soapbox and that reason. My kids are in their 20s now; they're grown. And what I would tell my 20-year-old self is that guilt and worry serve no purpose. Every other emotion, all good. Anger, fear, sadness, that's all good for you. Guilt and worry, so for those of you who have young ones, if I could go back, I would drop all of that, especially as a working exec.
Teresa, what has been your best failure professionally?
My best failure. Best failure. Okay. I would say I was rejected for a job offer that I really, really wanted. I handle rejection okay, but I really wanted this particular job offer. And less than 3 months after I was rejected for the job offer, the news broke that the company that I wanted, or the bank or financial institution I wanted to work for, was being acquired by another institution. And the position of the acquiring institution, which would have been my equivalent, I actually knew the person. So I would have been competing for that one chair with a person that I knew, a friend of mine. So in hindsight, even though I had been rejected for the offer and it weighed upon me, it was a relief when I heard about this particular news that I didn't have to compete for that chair with a friend of mine in the industry.
That's great. Amy, I'm going to throw that question at you too. I'm just curious.
What was that question again?
Best failures or your best teacher? So, what best failure professionally did you experience, and how did you learn?
I'll go a little personal on that because in my whole entire career, personal and professional is kind of blended together, and I've been fortunate to work in companies that really value that, and it's one and the same. But probably my biggest failure, which has turned out to be not a failure, I think was my marriage. You get married, you're very young, it's like, I'm going to stay that forever. And it lasted 20 years, but now we're the best of friends. And my son had said, wow, had I known it would be this good when you guys weren't together, imagine the life. And that allowed me to look at different jobs, be promoted, and look at other areas that I can promote myself personally and professionally. Maybe TMI, but that's
Does the region need to attract more Fortune 500 companies? And in what ways does South Florida business climate help or hinder your industry? In what ways does South Florida business climate help or hinder your organization?
Well, that's a double-edged sword. For healthcare, the more populace we have, the more patients we will have, the more we will treat, the better we will perform. As a CIO, the more competition I have, the less talent I have, the harder it is for me to accomplish what I need to for my organization. So it's a win-lose situation.
So Caroline, let me step in here real quick. First of all, big round of applause for our panel and the moderator. We've got time for about 2 questions from the audience, and Caroline will take part in this question and answer if the question is really related. Who would like the first question? Right here in blue, please.
I'm a junior achievement,
Sure, no.
and we, to speak to you, we do everything digitally, right? So all of our programs are delivered digitally. We don't teach a kid how to write a check. They're never going to write a check. But as a human who does deal with banking, and we obviously we transferred over to digital, what are you guys addressing in terms of connectivity to the end user? Because that's such a big issue. Everything's now digital on these platforms, but if they're not quick, and then from a customer service standpoint, so I had to get a safe deposit box from my bank. I live in Aventura, so they're all rural everywhere. So literally had to go to 10 different branches on Saturday morning. What are you guys doing in terms of that, in terms of connectivity to the end user with all this technological advancement? And then the customer service part, how do we service the end user? Because I can't call anybody. Every time I get on the phone, it's 45 minutes. What kinds of challenges are you guys seeing, and what do you see the solutions for this area?
In terms of banking, the way we try and stay connected with our customer is we do have call centers. We do have the ability, even though we have a digital bank, we do have the ability to do an online chat with you. So if you have any kind of concerns or hurdles while you're on the digital platforms, there's the ability to do a chat with someone online, as well as call and verbally speak to someone within the call center. We just don't have the branch network where you would need to go into the bank to sit with someone face to face, but we do still have that ability to connect where you are and connect with you, and hopefully rapidly, so that we can get to a solution. In terms of writing checks and transactions, you're absolutely correct. The industry has moved away from check writing. I remember when my daughter was in kindergarten, I used to go into the classroom and teach them about their piggy bank and saving. No one touches money anymore. Everything is wire transfers, everything is Venmo, digital payments, and we try and make that the easiest and efficient way for clients to do business. But the industry's changing, and in order to stay competitive and in order to stay cost competitive as well, financial services has to change along with it.
If I can address that as well. What was your name? Jennifer. First of all, congratulations working for Junior Achievement. It's a phenomenal organization, number one. So I know you were addressing banks, but I think it's a broader question, and one that we should all really be considering, which is how do we impact consumers, customers, patients, however you name them, right? My end consumer, my end user of a product is a patient. And if there is any industry that needs innovation, it's healthcare. It is healthcare. And the hardest place to innovate is healthcare. And it's the one equalizer, right? If you're healthy, you're happy. If you're unhealthy, you're sad. It equalizes us all, rich, poor, any country, any place. You get sick kids, you're an unhappy parent, you yourself are sick, you are an unhappy individual. It does not matter. So what I love, and I've spent 20 years in healthcare, and I love it. I've worked in big pharma, I've worked in the little organization of ABB on the executive team there, and it is by far and away the best thing I've ever had to do, and it's the patient experience is terrible in healthcare, just putting it bluntly, right? It's not good. It's not good. It's the equivalent to you having to go across to 8-10 different banks to find a Dropbox, right? It's terrible. You have to, the insurance platforms are broken, and the political system is in the muck and the mire. So what I love though about, and this is certainly not a solve, but I love all of the crop up of innovation groups and the small companies like ABB and others who are taking swings, sometimes missing, but taking swings at how can we digitize or think about doing healthcare differently. So there are, I worked at the MIT Media Lab for a long time. There are great studies and great work that's being done to try to innovate around healthcare, to do things differently and turn different models on its head. The payment models hold us captive to a degree, but the opportunity is endless there. So one example of how this digitization of healthcare is occurring for us at ABB. So those of you who raised your hand who have perfect vision, again, I'm not talking to you. The rest of you who get contact lenses, you go to your OD and you get a prescription and you go around 100 different ways. There are a few kind of bad subscription models that have popped up of late with Chinese contact lenses that maybe aren't the best, right? But what ABB is doing is that they're developing a subscription model so that whatever your doctor actually prescribes to you, you're going to be able to get delivered to your door, so you don't have to go in anywhere. The payment models are happening on the back end. We'll solve for that on the back end. But you're able to get the exact subscription that you need, the exact contact lenses you need, real time, on your doorstep, from your doctor, not from some outside company that's not connected to your doctor, but from your doctor and to your doctor, delivered to your door so that you have the gift of sight every single day. You never have to worry about it. You never have to spend a whole annual supply on day one, right, which is thousands of dollars. So a small thing, but a really real opportunity of how we're addressing the change in consumerism and the change of patient profiles in this more digitized world.
Huge round of applause for your panel. We could go on all day with this amazing panel. Unfortunately, we run out of time. I'm going to ask the panel to stay where you're at. I'm going to ask all of the opening speakers, Jennifer, the rest of you who spoke about your firms, to come up and have a photo with the panel. And I will close the program as everybody comes up. Where are you? Kennedy, Tansy, Alicia, Nicole, and of course, please come up next to the panel for a photo. Our photographer is downstairs, so if I can get a little help from the room with some pictures, that would be fantastic. There you go.
I'm doing live, is that okay?
You're going live, Glenn.
So everybody,
You're going live, Glenn.
yeah, the whole thing's been live.
So ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude the program and these pictures are taken, we want to thank TD Bank, America's most convenient bank, with locations throughout South Florida, Willis Towers Watson, RSM, Gravity IT Resources, NSU, Cressa, 4IT, South Florida Business and Wealth Magazine, Alpha Staff, and Windstream. Big round of applause for the partners and for our panel. Breakfast is still served. Feel free to network. Have a great day.